Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome yourself to the 96th episode of the Blind Counter Podcast. I'm your host with the most, the opposite, aka Big Bobby today. I'm also joined here today with my two co-hosts themselves. We got the Faceless crew today. We got Mr. AMANE down there at the bottom. We got Mr. Mihop, aka Jack, up here at the top left. Apparently both their cameras aren't working today, so I'm a solo dolo type player today. But how are we feeling today, gentlemen? How are we feeling?
Overloaded. Nah, bro. I don't know what's going on with the cam. Sorry from my side, but it's a good Monday. Chilling, chilling. How about you, Jack? Alicia?
Yeah, man. I'm currently just sitting at the kitchen table right now, man. I am writing a paper that should have been probably done about 2 months ago. Getting towards finals time. First final on Wednesday. So,
Mm.
honestly, shouldn't even be here. But the thought about to be able to talk about COD with the boys, I couldn't pass it up. Couldn't pass it up.
He's
I
an
couldn't pass
absolute
it up.
trooper. He's an absolute trooper. He's going to be
I,
failing those finals for some Call of Duty talks, man. We love that shit.
oh my God, we love that shit.
Going
Oh,
Snoopy on him, boy. Nah, appreciate it for real.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you gentlemen for having me.
And appreciate you
Yeah.
coming back on, man. Such a busy schedule you got, you know. We love that absolute support from you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. So we got a lot to talk about. I know the last week here had some PC troubles and whatnot, so we missed the first week of the new split. So we got some catching up to do here. So I'll skip some old news here, but try to keep it relevant for conversations moving forward here. But I'll switch on over to the desktop version, and moving forward, we've got a new nerf coming out for the M15 and Dravik here. So I know you guys probably already know about the Dravik nerf and the M15 nerf, and then they're also bringing in the MPC into this new split coming in for Major 3 as well as the minor. But yeah, so we got a more recoil changes for the M15 as well as the Dravik here, getting some recoil buffs or nerfs if you want for those guns there. Then they brought in the MPC to then replace the Dravik. It's still in the meta, but if you run the Dravik, you're kind of at a disadvantage because that new sub pieces kills in 3 bullets if you hit all headshots. So it's a little bit of a god gun, in my opinion, there. Then moving on into the maps and modes going into qualifiers, Major 3 and forward here, we've got Sake, Colossus, Den, Clifftown, Scar, and Gridlock being in the rotation for Hardpoint. And for Search and Destroy, they added Plaza, Gridlock, and Fringe into the rotation along with Den, Raid, and Scar. So those are going to be your Search and Destroy maps. And then Overload is the same 3 Overload maps, Den, Exposure, Scar. So yeah, definitely a very interesting split coming forward into the new CDL update here for our maps and modes there. A little disappointed we didn't get a 4th overload map, but we'll take what we can get here.
Yeah, I was feeling that same thing. I thought we could do at least one more. If they threw Clifftown in there, just throw another, bro.
Clifftown, could you
Right?
imagine?
Mr. Amata, you haven't been on the toy in a minute. That would have been
No,
a
shit.
disaster class.
No,
He's
not
trolling.
Clifftown and Overload, but another map in Overload.
Yeah.
No, from the trialing, they trialed Gridlock, and I love Gridlock, but that map for Overload was absolutely terrible. Um, right now, I feel like the biggest problem is that Clifftown's in the ranked rotation for ranked, but not in like the actual split because obviously like the pros G8 it. If we could get Expo S&D back in the rotation and get rid of Plaza and get Expo Hardpoint in there and get rid of Clifftown, I feel like it would probably be perfect. I do agree that there should be another Overload map, but they tried out Gridlock and Utopia, and like they just weren't even
Not
close. So
even.
What about a Fringe HP or Overload? Why wouldn't they trial that?
I think in my opinion, like the goal is to not have to use like remade maps.
Fair
Like if they
enough.
can actually like make like a competent map and not need to reuse it, then they'll do that. And then, but like I mean, they brought in Gridlock. Like don't get me wrong, and they brought in Clifftown. But like I feel like Fringe wouldn't play as well as we think. I think it would definitely play better than Clifftown, like no brainer.
Hmm.
But I'm cool with it just being an S&D, honestly.
What about Sake, Overload, and Search?
Mm, I think search would be good. Apparently the pros didn't like it. Overload, I feel like it might be too big. That might be absolutely faded, but I feel like with the way that the spawns already are on that map, like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
think
yeah.
about like that like left hand alley like on P3, that like long alley on like the like left side in the from the
Mm-hmm.
hill. If there's like if there's like a capture spot there and they spawn you like way back like circle like a P3, like I don't know, I feel like that's like a like long way. Like I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah.
I feel like Sake probably wouldn't work. I do think like Hasi would have some potential, I think maybe.
Mm.
Like driveway and like wine, like great vineyard or whatever, and then use like I don't know the other side. It would be like a little bit harder, but I feel like that could be actually like a good map
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Well,
Mm.
we'll find out in
if they could
Reloaded.
bring that in next split.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's going to be your maps and modes going forward here into the future. If anything else changes, we'll let you guys know. Then getting into some roster changes here for the Huntsman, we've got Swooty and Brack joining the likes of Renegade and Johnny to the Huntsman. So that's actually a very interesting choice to see Swooty on the Huntsman, but I know he's been absolutely frying.
Wait, is he hitting a gunless right? Or I'm sorry, hold on. Swooty hitting that absolute mini map and crosshair at the same time?
Oh no, he's cross-eyed.
He's hitting
He's got both
that
eyes.
shot
Yeah, I see
and
that.
check. Nice.
He's stupid. Oh
Uh,
my god, dude, that's funny. But yeah, man, we got Swooty, Brack, Renegade, and Johnny on the Huntsman there. So very interesting to see how they move forward here. And then also on top of that, we've got Jersey Jerry saying that Carolina declined to pay Fire 40's payout to join Carolina Royal Ravens here. So we'll go into a little live listening on what's going on
Carolina,
here.
happy that Lou's there. Wish him the best, right? They made it a point to tell us, right? Hey, we're not giving you guys a penny. Just a heads up. We're not trialing anybody with a buyout. We're not paying a buyout. There's a 0% chance you're getting a buyout. So Lou has a buyout in his contract, right? Yeah. Lou is going to have to pay that buyout, which he already says, I got no problem. I signed the contract. I'm going to pay that, right? But now Lou's first experience going to an org is, I got to dish out money out of my pocket to be on this fucking team. That's a slap in the face.
That's not great. Kind of speechless after that one.
Carolina.
Yeah, kind of crazy that Fire 40 has to pay out his buyout from Bush to move to a CDL org. Kind of crazy to hear about that, I'll be honest. When I heard that, I was like, yeah, no, this has got to be a topic discussion on BCP because holy fuck, what are we doing?
Brokey.
Yeah, that's insane. Could you imagine, dude, not being in the CDL ever and then knowing that you have to pay $2,000 to your current Challengers org to move into the Pro League to then make more money? Fucking insane. Fucking insane there.
Yeah. I heard that apparently he did get some help, but I forgot.
Yeah,
Like,
he got that paid for, but still, like the fact it's even a topic of discussion, and like I don't really want to give it too much light now because I'm sure we're probably gonna maybe talk about it more in like the Daniel Say area because this was like a semi-topic brought up about like these like bottom tier orgs,
Mhm.
but like yeah, this is a bad look, especially because I heard the other day on the flank, they were talking about roster change potential and how apparently the buyout for Lurks is a six-figure number.
Holy shit.
I just don't really understand how you're gonna put that kind of number on a player, but you can't even pay $2,500 for a buyout. I don't know. It's just I don't know what kind of business is being done over there.
What the fuck is going on?
that shit is crazy.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Well, moving on here to the next topic, we've got Dave talks about the potential of Bush. So let's go into a live listening on what he's got to say as well.
I don't know what the goal of the push is. So I mean, to me, it's a content storyline. The numbers aren't huge, that's for sure. A lot of people like it. I guess I wouldn't keep paying for like stuff if I didn't think there was potential. I think it's too early to tell. Like, I don't know anything about that world. Anything I see about that world is other people in that world saying it's a dying world. So I don't know. It's an interesting, funny storyline that I'm willing to let continue play out. Potential of like this being a huge thing, I have no idea. I'd guess no, but I know nothing about it, so I'm probably not in the right spot to guess.
Did the events of the last week make it so you will pay any more attention to the Bush because of this?
No. The attention, no. I won't pay any more or less attention to them based on them being morons. I already knew they were morons.
So just a little insight there that obviously Barstool is going to continue to be involved with Bush, but definitely understand the business side of it with it being a quote-unquote dying world, because I mean it's been hell and back for the past 6-7 years now. Ever since
He did something with that. I don't endorse that.
No, that was actually not intentional. No pun intended there. But you know, definitely understand the content side of things there. But very interesting to say the least that he's at least involved in some aspects. But wasn't sure what your guys' thoughts were maybe on something like this.
It's cool to hear him actually talk about it and get interviewed, because I know for the longest he wasn't even didn't give a damn or say anything. So I mean, I feel like they keep bugging him for cash to get to these majors, so he's like, all right, let's say some shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm on my phone right now. You might be able to hear from the mic quality. For some reason, I can't hear any of the clips, so I don't remember what he said because I've seen this clip. I do think it's cool for him because I believe that this is on either his podcast thing that he does, or it was on the Wake Up Barstool, which is cool because that's on FS1. But no, it's cool for the Bush to actually get some air. I do think it's unfortunate because I actually think that the Bush has such a high potential. Of genuinely any esport org, I think behind OpTic they have the second most upside. Because FaZe is kind of like a dying breed right now because of the whole content esports broken up. LA Thieves, if we're being honest, I love the LA Thieves and I love Nade Shop, but seems like they don't really know what they're doing. They were a clothing company, they were in a bunch of esports. See, Nade Shop was I feel like the future of those organizations are very uncertain. And I feel like the Bush have such an easy backer, but unfortunately there's a disconnect between the people who actually run the Bush and their incompetence isn't the right word, but they just don't understand the space as fully as they should because it's their first year. You can't blame them. And I think it's hard for them to actually communicate the upside to Dave Portnoy. And also Dave Portnoy is really close with the Crafts and the owner of the Patriots, and the owner of the Patriots, as we know, is the investor into the Boston Breach. So I'm sure he's been told this is a nightmare, don't do this, Call of Duty. I'm sure the perspective that Dave has been given is not a great one. And so the fact that he's willing to do this is really cool, but I wish that it was advertised better to him, because I think if they actually got the full backing of Barstool and their sponsors, and Dave could actually see the pull, the traction that they've gotten in the short time that they've been doing it, I think he could see the potential. But unfortunately, it's not all connecting for him right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I think their audience can mesh pretty well with the COD audience, with how young each audiences are. And then if they were to get a CDL spot, man, I could see this really kind of going to the next level for sure. But obviously, they got to get their foundation going in challengers and kind of get some reps underneath their belt to then understand how the pro league would obviously be the next step there for them. But yeah, definitely exciting stuff to see what Bush move forward with. Maybe next year, we'll see. But all right, well, we're going to switch gears here and go into the minor here that we had commenced this last weekend here. And quite a different, interesting way to do things here. Obviously, this was a one elimination bracket, single elimination bracket, online tournament for all the CDL players here. And we can just jump right into some of the matches here. So round one of the minor one, we had Riyadh Falcons versus the Vancouver Surge, and this was a 3-1 victory going to the side of Vegas Falcons, knocking out Vancouver Surge, taking them out with no CDL points, nothing earned there. Why is this so zoomed out? Let me go ahead and where's my here we go. Holy ads. All right, here we go. So yeah, they played a map 1 Den Hardpoint. And that went to the side of Vancouver Surge. And then map 2, Plaza Search and Destroy, was our first time seeing this in rotation. Go to the side of Riyadh Falcons. Overload Scar went to the side of Riyadh Falcons. And then map 4 on a Sake Hardpoint, 250 to 174. Riyadh Falcons take the dub here. Mr. AMANE, what are your thoughts on this series here?
Yeah, the first one, I was like, okay. I mean, it was close, but like maybe they, came to play. They're actually trying to do something, but nah, they're just. I mean, it was kind of as we'd expected. This was kind of whatever, in my opinion, to start everything off. But I predicted Surge to lose, and yeah, Falcons didn't look that great, but they did pull the 3-1. So it was just an iffy match for me.
Yeah, no, this was definitely a lackluster performance here for Vancouver Surgeon with the dropping of Capsidal and the attention being grabbed from Nero from the past couple of weeks, with him being dropped from Carolina due to some E6 allegations, and then now being brought back into the Vancouver Surge here, back on the roster with Lunars, Gwen, and TJ. Definitely wasn't a great performance out of him. He had a .83 for the series here. Then TJ had a .79. Lunar's the only one positive with a 1.09, and then Gwen a .87. And everyone on the side of Riyadh Falcons is positive. We got Celium dropping a 1.22, Exnit a 1.0, Kismet a 1.06, and Pred a 1.20. Mr. Jack, what are your thoughts on this series?
It was kind of nice for the tournament to start out with an upset. Vancouver were favored in this one. They are the #1 seed in stage 3. I believe Riyadh is the 12th seed, I believe, in stage 3. So most people were betting on the Surge to come out with this new meta. They're 2-0 in the split. I don't know if you guys remember the first Den. That map was absolutely insane. I'm pretty sure it was
Yeah.
If I remember this map correctly, Vancouver were up like 220 to like 100. And this ended up getting absolutely intense. And then, of course, it was a fake comeback, and Vancouver got the break on the P4 to win that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to Plaza. I just don't understand why Vancouver would play Plaza. Like, Riyadh is like the worst search team in the game, which is hard to do because like Vancouver has absolutely been awful like previously, and they chose Plaza, and then Riyadh was like, let's just run A every round and just run them down. And Riyadh just like eked out not eked out, it wasn't close, but like they just got like a free S&D map because it's just like, let's just gun up, and we have Celium Pred. Like, I don't know, it was just dumb to me. Like, that was just such like a bad pick. I don't know why you don't veto that. The Scar Overload was close, sure. And then the Sake Hardpoint, it was one of the most mind-boggling maps I've ever watched. I was watching the Flank guys like watch party it, and like everything that I was thinking they were saying, it was awesome, because there were so many times where Vancouver would get 3 dead, and you're like, okay, they would know where the 4th person was, and it's like, hunt this guy down and secure spawns, and they would let the guy get out, survive, not get spawns, and not push the map at all. And it's like, this game is like so like push heavy and so pace heavy, and it was just frustrating the shit out of me that they would just stand still. Like, they were just constantly standing still, and it was just so frustrating to watch. And if they had literally just done 1 or 2 things, like literally just killing the 4th guy that you know where he is and you know that he's weak, they probably win that. And they probably, have better, 50-50 shot on the gridlock. I know I'm kind of yapping, but like Nero had a good series, and he's been really impressive on this Vancouver team. He's kind of made them look like a team. But Tej had a fucking shit series. Tej wasn't going positive. Tej was brutal. Shout out Lunars. Lunars needs help. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it wasn't upset. I did choose Vancouver to win the series. Shout out Riyadh for pulling it. Whatever.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll see you fucking later. But yeah, Vancouver Surge gets knocked out, and then Riyadh Falcons move on to the second round here. And then getting into the next match, which was on Friday, we had 4 that went down. The second one is Boston Breach versus the Miami Heretics, and this was a hot 3-0 victory for the Miami Heretics. They played a hard point on Colossus, a Search and Destroy on Raid, and then an Overload Exposure. Absolute belt to ass. Mr. AMANE, what are your thoughts on this series?
Ooh, they need to blow it the fuck up. Purge, go back to the Omni, get you that buff I told you weeks ago, brother. You get up out of there, go hit the fucking hotel, and get on a different team, or go back to challengers. I mean, we'll talk about Miami later. They made it pretty damn far, but um, another expected one in my book, truthfully.
Yeah, absolutely. And then with that, this was Afro's first tournament with the Boston Breach here. I know in the split they had dropped Snoopy and they brought in Afro. So it's Afro, Nasty, Purge, and Spark on this roster here. Afro is the only one positive with a 1.06, Nasty a 0.74, Purge a 7.7, and then Spark a 7.8. And then everyone on the side of Miami Heretics Metals is 1.13, Rencor 1.23. Super a 1.04, and then Trakes a 1.26. Just absolute slayed out of the Miami Heretics. Mr. Mihoff, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I know I was pretty like long-winded with Surge, but that was because they were actually like looking up during Major 3. The rest of these maps, I'm not gonna have much to say. Pretty nasty, dude. I feel bad for Nasty. Whenever you look at like that Vancouver team last year that made it to like 5 finals, you look at Neptune, he's won a chip this year. You look at Abuza and 04, and they both won chips this year. And then you just got to feel bad for Nasty, who kind of is doing what Sib did last year in Kismet, where they were just on just an absolutely terrible team, and they were just like kind of shit on, and like their stock went down. Yeah, man, I wish that he could like force his way out and maybe go to like a Toronto for like Insight. Like I feel like that's like a no-brainer, but as far as the series goes, I mean, I don't have anything to say.
Yeah, no,
Like,
just
I mean,
belt ass. Belt ass.
yeah, I mean, it wasn't close.
No, they got shut out in the Search and Destroy 6-0. Kind of tells you the volume there.
Yeah.
Well, damn. Well, all right. Well, Boston Breach gets knocked out, and Miami moves on into the second round as well. Then getting into the third match, we had G2 Minnesota versus Cloud9 New York, and this was yet again another 3-0 DoorDash challenge. G2 take this one home. They played a map 1 hardpoint Scar, and then a Search and Destroy on Scar as well, and then ending things out on the Overload Exposure 6-5 there. Mr. AMANE, what are your thoughts on this series?
Cloud9, another one. Nah, I mean, G2. I always watch Mamba's camera because that you can just tell on that dude's face what's about to happen. He was feeling himself this one. I mean, I feel like anyone would, any of the other 11 teams going up against these boys. But yeah, this is just probably something we'll talk about when we get to the Daniel Say portion as well with the quality of the league. But yeah, GG's G2.
Yeah, and this was the only two, I guess not the only two, but the first only two rosters here that didn't make a change so far. We had Astriel, Crimp, Mamba on Skies. They're all going positive. Astriel dropping on 1.29, Crimp on 1.04, Mamba on 1.26, and Skies on 1.07. And then everyone on the side, Cloud9's negative, except for Nezra. He drops a 1.21, surprisingly, but Okus a 0.89, Hyde a 0.74, and Encourage a 0.65 there. Definitely not some slaying power out of the Cloud9 New York, or yeah, Cloud9 New York. But Mr. Jack, what are your thoughts?
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right, word. I just wanted to make sure. No, yeah. I don't really have much to say for this because I agree with Mr. AMANE there. I think a lot of the talking on this first day we'll probably actually talk about with the Daniel Say interview. I think we should probably talk about. We'll get to like format, which is kind of why we're seeing a lot of belt to ass on this specific day, and then obviously the quality of the teams. Just kind of sucks because there are like a lot of players and challengers who are really, really, really good, and Nezra is probably the only player on this Cloud9 team that actually like deserves to be in the league. I would say the rest of them, even if this Cloud9 New York team like went to challengers, I don't even know if they could get top 8. Like consistently get top 8, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
I mean, they were the Stallions. They didn't win Major 1 before they got picked up. Like, it's not like they like had some insane success, you know. As far as the hard point, their arrows were all in the wrong directions for most of the map. 100-point clubbed. Scar wasn't close. I mean, the only way that this team can win is S&D. and maybe an accidental map win somewhere else. Didn't do that. And then the Expo Overload, I mean, that was close, but oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. Can we back up? I'm sorry. Can we watch this exposure? We need to watch this exposure. Click on the exposure because this is about to piss me off.
There isn't any.
Cloud9
There's no
were
clips.
up. There's no clips,
No
bro. Okay,
clips.
let me just give some context to anybody that didn't watch. Cloud9 started out this map, and within the first 40 seconds, they're up 2-zip. They like grab ball, scored. Then they got a wave, got grab ball, scored. Okay. Then they ended up going up 5-1. Okay. And then they ended up just forgetting how to play COD. Like I'm like you are gonna think that I'm like joking, but quite literally, they let the other team grab the ball, score, grab the ball, score, grab the ball, and then try to like quad flank while they like just really ran forward and just scored. And then eventually it went into overtime, like the 30-second like added overtime, go for dead and let Minnesota come back. You were up 5-1 with like 2 minutes left. And you let them run 5 on your head in like 2 minutes. Like, I'm so mad that I almost just forgot to say that because that game shows why you don't deserve to be in the league. Like, sure, you were up 5-1, but like the fact you literally can't do like the bare minimum to like not allow yourselves to get ran through, like it was actually embarrassing. Sorry, another rant, but
No.
I mean G2, I'm gonna bitch about them later, but like Cloud9, like this shit was insane. We'll get to what Daniel say, but like there's just some organizations that just don't deserve to be here, and obviously the organization's a problem, but like the players are also the problem. It's also like a byproduct of them not paying players, but like yeah, this shit was bad. This shit was so bad.
Yeah, no, that's insane. I mean, dude, I thought Cloud9 was going to come out and maybe win a search and destroy because they are a very good search and destroy team, and then seeing them get belt to ass on the Scar 6-1, and then seeing the absolute breakdown on the exposure definitely was very surprising to say the least there, but then again, not surprising at all because holy fuck, what are we doing on the map? But yeah, man, definitely a surprising event for Cloud9 in this series here, but nonetheless, they still get 3-0'd and get taken out of the minor. Okay, well then that knocks out Cloud9, and then G2 move forward into the bracket as well. And then the last Friday night match, we had Toronto Koi versus the Carolina Royal Ravens, and this was yet again another 3-0 victory going to the side of Toronto Koi. Map 1 hardpoint score, 250 to 249 there, and then we move over to the search and destroy on raid there in a 6-4 fashion, and then the overload on Scar 4-1, completing the 3-0 victory going to the side of Toronto Koi. Mr. AMANE, what are your thoughts on this series?
Yeah, Koi was looking good. I mean, it doesn't really show right here, but they were cohesive. And then Royal Ravens, I mean, I just don't know really what to say about him. I know Exceed loves his online shit, and I don't really. Craze is like I feel like you could. I don't know about y'all. Like you could put anyone else in his spot, and it would be like the same. Has he been shooting to y'all lately?
Craze?
Yeah,
I haven't done anything special, honestly. If it was me, like
that's what I'm thinking.
not to hijack this, but if they were going to make it, like they were good online. Sorry, I'm hyped up.
No, you're not.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
chilling.
no.
You're chilling. Keep it going.
They were good online, and the only way for them to like really like qualify for champs was to actually like win online matches, and then they make the team change when they were good online. So that didn't like make sense to me. And then if you're gonna make a change, make a 2-man change, because if you actually like want to like ascend to be like a better team, like I feel like Nero wasn't the move. It would have been Nero and Craze. And if you're only gonna change one, it's like why have somebody like learn like a new like system and like bring somebody? I don't know. It just didn't make sense.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense at all. But, I mean, he is the only one that drops 8k damage on the team there. He has a 1.03 for the series and exceeds next up there with a 1.07. And then we got Fire, his first tournament with the Carolina Royal Ravens, dropping a 0.89 there, and then Lurks a 0.90. And then everyone on the side of Toronto is also negative, except for Thieves. He drops a 1.28, Kips a 0.88, Inside a 0.89, and Kleenex a 0.97 there. But yeah, man, definitely a crazy map one. Goes down to a 1-point win for Toronto Koi, and then search and destroy 6-4, and then an overload on Scar 4-1. Pretty convincing win on the Scar there, or overload there. But is there any closing thoughts there for this series here?
I was just gonna say, very entertaining hardpoint. That one came down to like a last second. I think it was a P3 roto, pretty sure. And then the only other thing is like anybody that's like a viewer, not a listener, like pay attention to Insight's damage throughout this tournament. Or I guess he only plays one more series, but like if you watch Insight on the map, especially during like this like new meta, like he's really not providing much on the map. So I don't know. I just think that's something to look out for.
Absolutely there. Well, that sends Carolina home, and then Toronto Koei advance into the next bracket here. And then moving into the Saturday night matches, we had the Paris Gentlemates versus the Miami Heretics, and this was a surprising 3-1 victory going to the side of Miami Heretics, taking out Paris Gentlemates. Paris Gentlemates come out hot on the hardpoint map 1 on Sake, and then Miami answered back there on the Search and Destroy on Fringe, as well as the Overload Scar, and then rounding things out there on the Colossus Hardpoint, 250 to 203. Miami take it 3-1. Mr. AMANE, what are your thoughts?
Well, for the overall, I felt like it was a good hard point, but I felt like Mates was actually going to do a little more than they did. The one and done's kind of cheese, but I don't know. I wanted to see this one go game 5. I think that's really what it was personally. They were starting to click though. Miami. I mean, I really felt like okay, this will be one of the 3 for sure. And then yeah, I was kind of disappointed by the Mates, even though Envoy was looking better. You don't really see it in the stats with the new meta, but yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think you're onto something here. Miami's been looking really good online. When it comes to to LAN, different story. But I mean, yeah, Miami, everyone's positive. We got Metals at 1.0, Grencore 1.16, Super 1.24, Trakes at 1.06, and then looking at the side of Paris Gentlemates, we got Envoy dropping a 0.83 or 88, sorry. Ghosty a 0.78, Neptune the one positive with a 1.06, and then Sib a 0.80. Definitely some interesting things there to see Paris Gentlemates getting taken out. But Jack, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this was a pretty good series, like generally pretty close. I feel like Super was absolutely insane, if I remember, on that Search and Destroy. He had a couple crazy plays. The Sake, if I remember correctly, Miami kind of bundled that. They kind of messed that one up. You can, I mean, they did all go negative, but it did from, or at least most of them. I do feel like they played better than their actual gunnies were showing. But yeah, no, I feel like this Miami team, there's like a lot of talk about them in between Major 2 to Major 3 about it's like, yeah, Rencor and Super are kind of like dirty kill whores, and they're not really like doing plays that are like conducive to winning. Like it seems like they need to like out frag heavily in order to win. And I do feel like throughout this weekend, at least, I don't know if you can extrapolate that forward, but it did feel like they were actually just playing like with such pace on the map that they didn't need to outfrag. They were just picking up more clutch kills, is what I would say. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was a pretty entertaining series. I do kind of wish it went 5, just because it was an entertaining series. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool to see a Fringe Search and Destroy first time in the rotation as well for the minors. So definitely awesome to see some new maps being played as well. But yeah, this sends Paris Gentlemates out and then advance Miami to the next bracket there. And then moving on into the second series of Saturday night, we had FaZe Vegas versus the Riyadh Falcons here, and this was a 3-1 victory going to the side of FaZe Vegas. They played a hardpoint den map 1 going to the side of FaZe, as well as the Search and Destroy on Fringe going to the side of FaZe, and then Riyadh Falcons take home the Overload on Scar, and then rounding things out there on the hardpoint Sake, we got FaZe Vegas taking it home 3-1. Mr. AMANE, what are your thoughts on this series?
Phase up, B. Nah, I know Celium was wanting a little get back on this, but not happening. FaZe were looking good too. Had the Zaza brothers doing their thing, and the Pimp, of course. But yeah, I was just again really disappointed in Falcons. I thought they had more in the tank than this. I mean, their search is fucking atrocious, and they're not even respectable, truthfully. At least against FaZe in the respawns, but random overload, in my opinion, are they like decent, or was that just kind of a weird one to y'all?
Yeah,
as
weird
far as the belt.
resurgence. Weird resurgence for
It was
sure.
it was a weird resurgence for sure.
Like, okay, like go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, dude, Rion Falcons online looked a lot cleaner. But then obviously with this meta change here, definitely shook some things up there for them, and then I guess they haven't been able to adapt well. But I mean, just looking at the side of Rion Falcons, everyone is negative. We got Celium dropping to 0.85, Exon at 0.88, Kismet at 0.89, and Pred at 0.87 there. And then everyone on the side of FaZe Vegas, we got 04 dropping at 1.17, Obuza we got 1.04 or 1.14, Draza 1.03, and Simp a 1.21. Definitely some slaying power out of the FaZe Vegas against Riyadh Falcons here. Jack, what are your thoughts on this series?
I mean, I was kind of surprised that they won the series against Vancouver. Not surprised that they lost this one. I feel like Riyadh currently, as they're assembled, is basically like just a notch above like Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the team change thing was just such a big mistake out of them. Like he trialed QK, I think they trialed somebody else allegedly. Then they were trying Pred. They were trying all these different combinations, and I feel like whenever like this new meta started, like they basically just like lost like 2 weeks of practice, or at least like a quarter of a week, whatever. Like they weren't acting as a team because they didn't know who their team was.
Mm-hmm.
I think that really like threw them off. You have like a role change where like Kismet's with the sub and Exned's with the AR, and then you have Exned now sniping and French. He did have a sick ace in the S&D, but like it just seems like this team doesn't know what they want to do at all, and they don't again do things that are conducive to winning. I feel like Celium and Pred just kind of like rat iron camp, try to get kills, and then Kismet and Nextnid are like trying to make like really good plays on the map, but like it's a team game and it kind of feels like it's 2v2 in their own team. I don't know if you have the clip of them from like last week whenever like they lost. I don't know if that's coming up uh of Exnid and Kismet kind of going off on Pred and Cell for not blocking on the Scar that they lost in the league matches.
Oh no, I don't have that.
Yeah, it's just shit like that where I'm like, this team, like I feel like they have like firepower. It's just they just don't use it properly. And whenever you go up against like any team that actually like has like a semblance of like teamwork, like even like G2, like this roster is better than G2's roster, I would say pretty handily. But like I would take G2 to win every time because I at least like have teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as far as the series goes, I mean, if this team wants to have any chance, they have to win 2 respawns at least, And if you can't do that and you go down 0-1 in the series, then you're kind of fucked. So yeah.
Kind of cooked. But yeah, you really hate to see it there. But Rion Falcons get knocked out, and then FaZe move on into the minor here. That's going to be it for this series here. Then getting into the next series, the Saturday night, we had OpTic Texas versus the Toronto Koi, and this was a 3-1 victory going to the boys in green over there at OpTic. They played in map 1 Den Hardpoint, going to the side of OpTic. The Gridlock Search and Destroy also goes to the side of OpTic. Koi take home the Overload on Scar in a 1-5 fashion there, and then OpTic round things out there on the Hardpoint Scar 250-81, ladies and gentlemen, 100-point clubbed. Mr. AMANE, what are your thoughts on this series here?
Demoralized map 4. We love to see it. Nah, this was good. This was good. Not so good later, but felt like the series was going to go a little longer. If that fourth hard point was they were actually doing something, but taking note of that Dammy on inside again. Kleenex isn't too far behind. Interesting, but yeah, that neg 22 on inside does not look good. OpTic doing their thing. Merc was just he don't respect these boys. You can tell.
He was having.
Mm-hmm.
He was having. Yeah, I mean, just looking at the side of Toronto Koi here, everyone's negative except for Kips. Only positive with a 1.01. Joe receives a 0.95, inside a 0.73, and Kleenex a 0.86 there. Then everyone on the side of OpTic is positive except for Hook, drops a 0.93, Dashy a 1.08, Mercury's a 1.34, and Shotzi a 1.13. Jack, what are your thoughts on this series?
Yeah, I mean this wasn't a particularly close series. I mean the overload was really weird. I just didn't see it coming. The Den hardpoint, I feel like, I don't know, I was again watching the flank during these matches, and they were like, oh my god, why would OpTic choose Den? Like, dude, OpTic runs Den against Koi. They're like 3-0 in like their past 3. I feel like the Koi is like the goated Den team is like kind of gone away ever since like the major.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they took care of Den. It did get close, but like I'm pretty sure that game was like out of hand for a while. I think it was like around like 190 to like 90, and then it did end up getting close over the end. And then yeah, that final Scar hardpoint was, I've never seen something so dominant. Like I think I was texting our group chat. I'm like, I don't know how they got 81. I'm pretty sure it was one botched P4 rotation. The first set of P4 rotos, OpTic ended up fucking up like last second, and ended up gifting them like basically like 40 points. Because if you look at like, if you click on map 4 and you like look at like the KDs, like American Shotzi had 2.4, 2.15, like it was just, I have never seen, every single time with the caster switch POV, it was like 2-piece switch, 2-piece switch, 3-piece switch, 2-piece, like there, I've never seen such a dominant hardpoint win, and I still can't believe that they got 81 points. But yeah, I mean, kind of bringing it back to what I was talking about before, since this is last time we'll be talking about Toronto right now. Yeah, I just feel like Ake said it, but like, yeah, them getting third at the major is kind of like the worst thing to happen to them, because I feel like they have this like confidence, but like truthfully, like if this team got rid of Insight and got like a fucking straight shooter main AR that actually had like some pace,
Nasty.
this team would be yeah, I mean, Nasty would be great. I mean, I know that they would never sell him, but like if this Falcons roster like is just done, Stellium, I know that would never happen. I understand that, but like literally just like pack a punching that piece, I would be like, yo, this team could beat OpTic, this team could beat Thieves, this team could beat FaZe, like no doubt. Because Kips and Joe in the SMG department, or I mean, Kips is kind of like a flex, but like in the slang department, Joe and Kips are so disgusting. They are such a good duo, maybe one of the best duos in the game currently. And I feel like Kleenex does this thing as well. But like Insight, like I do like Insight, and I thought Major 2 was super cool for like the home crowd cheese, but like I feel like if this team actually like wants to have a chance at like winning champs, they gotta make a change. Better now than later.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. But yeah, man, definitely tough looks here for Toronto Koi, but they get knocked out, and OpTic advances into the minor as well. And then getting into the last Saturday night match here, we had LA Thieves versus the G2 Minnesota Boys, and then looks like they got 3-0 belt to ass there. LA Thieves taking this one home. They played a hardpoint map 1 on Sake, a map 2 Surgeon Destroy on Scar, and then an overload on Scar as well. Absolute dominance, 6-0 there, rounding things out for the 3-0 victory for LA Thieves. Mr. AMANE, what are your thoughts on this series here?
Yeah, I think this was another one where I was watching Mamba's cam. He kind of got costed by the rest of his team, but I mean, there's not much else he could have done. He only went +5 on the series, but yeah, Thieves looking good, man. What can you say? They ended up, doing the damn thing.
Hell yeah, absolutely. They've been looking really good, especially with this new meta. Definitely activating Hydra and Abizi to be together as well. And just looking at the side of the LA Thieves here, Hydra's the only one negative with a 0.98. We got Neum dropping a 1.29, Scrap a 1.24, and Abizi a 1.20. And looking over there at G2 Minnesota, the only one positive is Mamba with a 1.0, Skies drops a 0.66, Kremp a 0.89, and Estriel a 0.78. Definitely some tough looks there. What are your thoughts on this series here, Mr. Jack?
I mean, I don't really have much to say. It was a pretty big ass whooping. The Sake really wasn't close. I know that the series says it was close. It was not close. Yeah, I don't really know what to say other than like Kremp on that Scar was the only one to get killed, I think, for like the first like 4 rounds. I think the other, like the rest of them were like 0 and like 12 to start. I feel bad for Kremp. I think he's the best player on the team, and it's kind of unfortunate. This is like where he's at. I think this team has like great teamwork, and I think that they're like consistently like like in sports, you say it's like a high floor, like low ceiling team.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think this like group of players is ever gonna get like a top 12. I don't think. I don't really think they'll be like top 8. I think they'll just kind of be like, I guess like top 8 to like top 6. I know they got top 4 major one, but like it just kind of seems like we've seen like the peak of this team. I don't think Skies is like keeping up. He has a couple solid series here and there. I know he's your sniper, but like I don't think he's gonna help this team to like win champs or anything. Same with Mamba, and honestly, same with Estriel. I just feel like none of these players are like marquee pieces. And they'll beat the shitters, and a team like Thieves, they'll just get ran. So yeah, that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Shout out Thieves. We'll talk about them more later. So like I don't really like want to talk too much about them, but yeah, like the meta has been great for them. I think Hydra and Abizi like really struggled with the Dravik. And now they're kind of able to like get like loose and like move on people, which is like really what their role, really what they've strived with previously. So yeah.
Yeah, no, they're a bunch of ape players, and that NPC definitely activates the apage for sure. But yeah, man, G2 get knocked out, and then LA Thieves advance into the minor as well, and then moving into the Sunday night matches here. Top 4, we've got FaZe Vegas versus the Miami Heretics in Miami. Surprisingly, 3-0 FaZe Vegas here. They played a Hardpoint Colossus map 1, a Fringe Search and Destroy map 2, and then a Den Overload map 3. Very, very close game here, but Mr. Amane, what are your thoughts on this series?
Yeah, definitely close. I mean, throughout the whole thing, I really thought FaZe was about to reverse sweep. They were looking good on the Den Overload for a hot minute, I felt like, and then it just kind of ended right there. But yeah, it's definitely surprising. I'm glad we got some new teams, up for the dub. But yeah, very interesting. I know O4 was, I mean, he always, when the cam goes to him, it's like he's like in his bag, feeling himself, but he don't really want to be there, be leaning back and shit. Like I feel like everyone else is definitely tuned in more, but it's like completely the opposite when it comes to like gameplay and stats. Like O4 has been him here lately. So it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, dude. FaZe Vegas definitely looks really good coming out of Major 2, being obviously the reigning champs coming out of Major 2 here. But then this new meta kind of switched some things up here. Then I know O4 meta had some blackout plays where he did kind of go off, especially on that map 3. Kind of collecting a lot of kills here, but not able to make them impactful for the win. But I mean, just looking at the side of Miami here, it takes everyone's positive except for Metals here. He drops a 0.88, Rencore a 1.16, Super a 1.12, and Trakes a 1.04 there. And then on the opposite side there, we got everyone negative on FaZe Vegas except for O4. He's dropping a 1.02, Abuza 0.93, Draza 0.88, and Simp a 9.2 or a 9.6. Jack, what are your thoughts on this series?
I honestly don't have much on this. I'm sure I'll find a way to make it a lot. It was a super close series. The Search and Destroy super went crazy again.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's kind of like your
Given.
ace in the hole.
Yeah.
Like you just know Super's gonna go nuts. As far as the Den Overload goes, that was probably like the map of the year. I don't think I've seen a better map. Of Call of Duty this whole year. Maybe like the Neptune clutches, but even then, it's like this was the longest Overload I've ever watched.
Yes.
For anybody that like wasn't watching, it ended up being, I want to say
18 minutes.
I want to say it was 3-2 Miami. I want to say it was 3-2 Miami. They had like 2 quick scores to go up 3-2, and then like literally like last second, like the like last second of like overtime, FaZe scores to tie it up, send it to overtime, like the actual overtime, and then a whole 5 minute, like the first half of 5 minute overtime happened, and nobody scored.
Yep.
And there were literally like 10 different times where a team was a millisecond from scoring, and a spawn nade, a spawn tack, a spawn whatever would come and stop it. And there were, I mean, the casters couldn't even switch POVs because everybody was just running it the fuck down. It was really entertaining. Like you honestly like didn't know it was gonna happen. The whole map, and then it goes into the second side, and then Miami ended up getting like a perfect scenario. I think it was like a 4 dead. They were already like kind of pushed up, but I don't really have much for the series because FaZe just they didn't really look great. I feel like Draza and Abuza just kind of had like an off series, and in the meta, like I know like the subs are gonna kind of play pretty well, but like I feel like the consistency in your AR is kind of like the most important thing now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the sub shooting and like if your ARs can actually like hold like the power positions, like that's the most important thing. And they weren't the series. Simply put, Super pulling out the sub was actually insane on the series, but I'm kind of rambling, but yeah, no, the phase didn't look great. We'll talk about it next series of the OpTic as well and how they kind of fell, but I felt like this was kind of uncharacteristic from phase, and it was really more speaking to the pace that Miami was playing in the respawns.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely there. Definitely a clutch series here for Miami. Definitely not a choke for FaZe Vegas, but FaZe get top 4 in the minor here, and then Miami advance into the next bracket here, and then getting into the second series here, we had OpTic Texas versus the LA Thieves, and this went the distance in a map 5, and LA Thieves win it, taking out OpTic here in the map 5. They played a Den Hardpoint map 1 going to the side of Thieves, as well as the map 2 Gridlock Search and Destroy, and then OpTic answer back on the Scar Overload map 3, and then as well as the map 4 Colossus Hardpoint, and then moving into the Fringe Search and Destroy, a 6-2 victory here, completing the 3-2 victory for LA Thieves. Mr. AMANE, what are your thoughts on this series?
I'm hurt. I mean, the stats look good, but yeah, I'm glad it went a game 5. I mean, that Fringe, I feel like people were saying like, "Oh, Shotzi ain't played Fringe like that. He don't know Fringe like that." Blah blah blah. But come on now. I mean, it's the game. They're learning. It's not the end of the world. It's just a little tournament for some cash and some points. But always would have been good to see him win. But yeah, GG's to LA. They were just better on the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, something to add too. I mean, Dashy was absolutely frying this series here. I know the stats probably don't really reflect how much he was doing there, but he had 13.6k damage in the series here with 103 kills with a 1.17. Just absolutely frying and trying his absolute best here. And then Hook drops a 0.95, Mercury's a 1.04, Shotzi a 1.0, and then everyone on the side of LA Thieves is negative except for Abizi. He drops a 1.01, Scrap a 0.87, Neum a 0.97, and Hydra a 0.97 there. So very interesting that they were able to bring out the victory there, lower in the kill department there, but definitely the teamwork makes the dream work there on this series here. Jack, what are your thoughts on this series?
Yeah, no, this was a banger of a series. The Den Hardpoint was honestly kind of crazy. I know we talked about it against Koi, but this one was really back and forth, and it was a really good map, really fun to watch. Going into the Gridlock S&D, just a couple of questionable plays in my opinion. We'll kind of, I guess I'll talk about it now, but like Shotzi combined for I believe 3 and 15 between map 2 and 5. So, to tell you the truth, and like the nicest way to put it, like Shotzi costed the series. It's obviously not all on him, right? Like Hook went 4 and 8 in one, Mark Dashy went 4 and 8 in another. Like I'm not saying it's all on him, but I do feel like, especially playing 2 new maps that you're not entirely like you haven't probably repped a whole ton. I feel like Shotzi was like trying to like get loose and like make the play every round, and I mean, clearly by how he performed, it didn't work most of the rounds. He was getting blooded. He was getting caught out of position. And I mean, if you look at the Colossus Hardpoint, if you look at the Overload, like that really was the difference. You just needed to pick up one S&D. And I feel like playing more straight up, and I mean, not to say turtling more, but just like playing with the team more. I feel like that would have helped them a lot. I think that was the difference. Whenever you look at the series, Scrap was getting dog walked this series, um, which was a big thing too. Like I don't think I've ever seen Scrap have such like a rough series. I think map 1 he ended up finishing okay. Yeah, he finished like 19 and 24, but he was like 4 and like 12 at one point. Like he was just he was starting really slow, and I feel like whenever you have a player like of his caliber starting out so poorly, like you really got to take advantage of that. And OpTic didn't. And at the end of the day, I think you really like want to have those S&Ds back, and you really want to rep those S&Ds more so that doesn't happen again. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely a crazy one here, especially on the map 4 for not Shotzi, but Dash. He drops 41 and 29 and able to on a Colossus as well to speak volumes there as an AR. Dropping some crazy numbers there, trying to wheel his team to victory, and then obviously that search and destroy on Fringe wasn't able to transfer that same skill set there, but definitely a great series here, probably one of the better series in the minor tournament so far. But yeah, man, OpTic Texas get third, and then LA Thieves advance into grand finals. And then going into the grand finals here, we had Miami Heretics versus LA Thieves, and this was a 4-2 victory going to the side of LA Thieves here. So LA Thieves is your minor 1 champions. They played a map 1 Sake hardpoint going to the side of LA. Miami answers back on the map 2 Fringe Search and Destroy, as well as the Exposure Overload. And then LA Thieves take home map 4 Colossus Hardpoint, as well as the map 5 Scar Search and Destroy, and then getting into a Overload Scar 5-2, a 4-2 victory in the series here going to LA Thieves. Mr. Monty, what are your thoughts on this series?
Sheesh. I mean, after OpTic lost, I'm not gonna lie, I was still watching, but I wasn't as invested. I just kept checking back and checking back, but yeah, the 676
Oh my.
overload exposure kind of let me know where it could go, but yeah, no, they LA brought it back. They said, "Nah, we ain't having that shit." And Scrap got his get back on Super after making himself hit himself in the face.
Yeah, I mean, and this was the Abizi versus Rencore series, so definitely a great one to watch if you guys know any lore there. But yeah, man, an absolute masterclass here for Scrap. He has a 1.35 for the grand final series here, plus 37 spread with 142 kills in total. Abizi 1.02, Neum a 0.92, and Hydra a 0.94. And then on the side of Miami Heretics, we got Metals a 0.82, Rencore 1.0, Super a 0.90, and Trakes a 1.06. So definitely some great combinations there. But Jack, what are your thoughts on this series?
I don't really have much to say, man. I mean, other than Scrap is disgusting. Like, just a great final out of him.
Mm-hmm.
But and again, congrats to the LA Thieves. It's nice to see them like at the top. I feel like they've been super disappointing all year. In terms of like what this team's potential was.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I feel like for Miami, like everything that I kind of mentioned earlier in the show about how like the pace that they were playing at and like the they weren't just playing to like kill horror, like they were actually doing things that were like conducive to winning. I feel like that kind of all went out the window, as you can see in the respawns. Like they won 1 respawn, and the rest it weren't really that close. If we're being honest, they weren't super close. So I feel like they kind of like reverted to their own ways. I don't know if they shit themselves. I don't know if it was just crap was absolutely frying them. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say.
Yeah, no, definitely a great win here for LA Thieves. Definitely looking good with the new meta, and we'll see what that translates going into the rest of the qualifiers for Major 3, and then obviously seeing what they can bring on land there for Major 3 in Atlanta. But all right, well, cool. Well, that's going to end things there for the minor here. Then getting into some other news here, we had Daniel to say whatever you want to say on with the flank boys over there. We got some good clips of them talking about brackets, the whole CDL thing. So we'll go into the first one here of the thing that we've really been focusing on behind the scenes is creating a financial stability here. We've gotten to grow double digits year growth. So let's see what he's got to say about past, present, and future growth for Call of Duty.
Like it feels like the growth right now is marginal. Like I feel like we're setting these records, but we're not blowing ourselves out of the water. Like what do we have to do to grow the scene in a more meaningful way, to start 2xing the viewership, adding 150,000 viewers, getting more people to the events? Like
just to kind of rewind a little bit and what we've been seeing over the last couple of years, we've always been focused on growth. I would say that the thing we've been really focused on behind the scenes is creating financial sustainability. And I know that might not be sexy, but it's incredibly important. I think people always talk about esports, but to actually get this to be a self-sustaining business, it's been a huge focus of ours. And we've had to really focus on efficiency with our resources. But by the way, we've still grown at double-digit growth every single year. If you look at the season to date average minute audience, so your concurrent viewership of the entire season in 2019, that was about 55. Okay. Now it's right now where we are right now in the season is we're at 110, the highest COD esports has ever been, and that's with this huge focus on financial sustainability. I do want a 2x. We've grown at double digit per year, but and now that we've kind of gotten the business in a good spot, much better than I think in a couple of years ago. To answer your question, I think it's around product and teams. If you look at the amount of impact that a team can make, I mean, you guys are obviously part of our biggest team, and doesn't need to be said how additive OpTic has been. But even someone like Gentlemates coming in and instantly making a huge impact, the viewership that they brought, how inspiring they are with the content and uplifting how other people might think about running, their businesses, their marketing, they're hosting the biggest major we're ever going to have. So I think that there's a lot more to conquer with respect to having and adding really awesome teams. That's what we've seen in the past. And then the other is, I think, on the product. We're continuing to try to evolve the product. We actually that was part of the discussion at Major 2 as well with the coaches around different tournament structures for the online weeks.
Yeah, I mean, definitely some interesting stuff there. He's more focused on creating financial stability by double-digiting growth every year. I do say that this might be a little bit of a faded take just because of the watch parties becoming more and more frequent. We've got, Gentlemates with Gotaga and his watch parties bringing in viewership as well. So I feel like these numbers might be a little bit skewed for him, and he might not be able to see that entirely. But I mean, yeah, man, definitely some interesting thoughts from Daniel there. You guys want to speak on anything like this, or should we go on to the next topic?
Just absolute respect for the PR training on the corporate side, but on my normal side, fuck you, bro.
I hear that, Jack. You got anything?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of disappointed. I like that the flank got to ask some of these questions. I just think that some of their follow-up questions were like really like lacking. Like I kept feeling like they were getting the PR answer, and there were so many like better ways to get around the PR answer and actually like get something, and they just didn't know how to articulate it. I think Ben did a good job at articulating. I think the rest of them did like a really good job of like actually like asking like good questions. I don't know. I mean, in terms of like financial sustainability, I thought Methods asked like a really good question about like sports leagues are making like an absolute shitload on like gambling and like alcohol sponsors and like being like a like rated mature game. Like, why are we not taking advantage of that? And I thought that was a good question.
That's a good question.
I feel like there are so many different sponsor avenues that you can go down to help the league. I also feel like just kind of as pertaining to this section, like the numbers that are calculated in terms of growth, I think they're just not doing a good job, in my opinion, of like growing the fan base. And I think Methods talked about like, is the next place like going like abroad? Like whenever like we think about like the NFL, it's like every American knows what the NFL is. They probably have like tapped the United States market. Like you're probably not going to grow and get like the type of like production out of like the USA market, and that's why you're seeing like international games. That's why you're seeing like all these pushes to go abroad, maybe like new team, whatever, have preseason games in Canada, whatever. I think that his question was like well intentioned, but like the reality is that COD is not even tapped in COD.
Yeah.
Like, I think there could be things done to even get Warzone players interested in competitive COD.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's things done to get Halo players to like COD. I think there's things done for any FPS to like watch COD. And I think that them talking about us tapping out of like our audience is kind of faded. I think they're losing people more than they're gaining. Not that the numbers aren't going up, but I feel like a lot of us are getting sick with other problems with the league, that numbers are kind of falling off from that instance. I know that it's in a healthy space. I understand that, but I just feel like them saying like we need to grow the esport financially before we do all this other shit. I feel like it's kind of faded.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Backwards.
little bit backwards. All right. Well, then getting into the second topic here, new agenda was Octane responsible for Clifftown CDL Commissioner Daniel gives insight on behind process of adjustment map pools and other changes here since Major 1. So let's go into a live listening real quick.
How does all this operate?
I think the first thing is it's obviously very subjective. I think we're never going to find a map pool where everyone agrees on it. And so what we tried to do is, and this has changed from Major 1 to Major 2, is really adding more constituencies into the ultimate decision process. And the ultimate decision comes from the league office, right? It's not, I know in the past it's been like players are deciding and all that stuff. Their opinion matters a lot, and I think that's one of the biggest feedback that we get and what's appropriate. I think at the league office we have a healthy respect of, we're not the pro players, and the pro players are the best at determining what is competitive or not. At the same time, I would say that pro players are inherently going to have a conflict of interest, especially in the middle of the season, deciding what maps are played. And so we need to balance that out with third-party folks at the league level. And it's Lord knows it's not me. There's other people that have been around the scene way longer and played and all that stuff that can add that expertise. Since Major 1, we've added a committee of ex-pros.
I've been hearing about this committee. Who's on it?
Interesting.
I don't know who's on it. I don't know. That they keep that information from me.
There's someone here who's not saying much. I know Sam's on it.
Is Sam on it? So we have, and we think that's been a really valuable addition because they have the talent, and they also can recognize like what's entertaining and not, and third, they're not biased, right? They're not attached to any sort of team, and I think that's been super valuable. The last one I'd say is we work really closely with the studio, right, to put these maps into ranked. And so what you saw this past go around was we announced these are the maps under consideration for the CDL map pool. They all went in ranked. There's a tweet about it, and some of those made it in. So, Tommy, to your question of like, how did Clifton make it? I don't necessarily want to get into the X's and O's of like, is this the right map and blah, 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 but like there was that signal given with that. And obviously, I think you guys know we have a chat with the player captains and a player rep, and that's how a lot of the...
Does the head of this committee rhyme with lameless by any chance?
because his hands don't work like they used to, Daniel. There's certain things that need to be taken into consideration with this committee because his hands are not what they once were, Daniel.
I don't know who you guys are talking about.
Yeah, so interesting stuff there. Looks like we got a confirmed CDL commission group of ex-pros kind of testing out map pools moving forward here, giving some good insight of what's to be changed, what can be changed, things like that. Any thoughts on your guys' end, or should we move to the next topic?
I didn't really hear the clip again because I'm on my phone. But if we're talking about like the map sets, I feel like that was under the question that they were talking about communication.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody watched the actual interview, like there are multiple times where Daniel Say basically talks about them trying to talk to the organizations and how they've had like meetings and not every team shows up. It's really disappointing. There was one that was kind of funny because it's like going more to like the finals format and how there's a lot of teams that don't even think that they're competing for finals, which is like a whole nother issue. But that was like probably like the one thing that I was like most happy that we actually like got out of PR Boy was like there is communication. It's currently kind of fucked, and like they're working to fix it. And it actually seemed like there were like substantive things between the whole debacle with maps like 2 weeks ago to like now. I think making it mandatory so that these shitter teams actually like are in there would be good. And I know that there's like bias between, teams that, maybe are good on the map at the beginning and want to put it in. And I do think having like a committee of like people who just like want to see the game be good and actually have like ex-pro experience and aren't necessarily tied to a team, I think that's all you can really ask for. So that's kind of my thoughts on this specific topic.
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely getting some good experience from ex-pros to kind of give some great insight, because I know the developers and whatnot on that side aren't as in tune with that type of day-to-day X and O's type deal, but yeah, definitely great to see some fresh eyes into the scene there for us.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, getting into the second topic here, why doesn't the CDL return to bracket reset format for grand finals here? So let's go into a live listen in
When you
for
mentioned
this.
that, like, you don't think this is like the bracket reset is the best option. My question is, like, who thinks that? Because the community has a very different opinion, and I feel like that should be the most important opinion. Like pros, former pros, fans. Like,
How do you define works really well? Because I agree with you. Like we do see the community, and we do see all the folks that watched and enjoyed the bracket reset. So I trust me, we're not ignoring it. But how do you define that was successful?
I would say the positive feedback from the community, right? I mean, I think that's the biggest thing to look at. Again, like I think there's also maybe different avenues. Like maybe instead of a bracket reset, maybe it's a continuation series, right? And just finding different ways, like you said, like trying to find that balance of, right? So it makes it easier
the
for
veto
the
advantage
losers team.
also. The veto
And
advantage.
that's where we agree, Tommy. Sorry to cut you off. I love it. I think this is how we actually really dig into things because, I guess there's a couple things. Zinni, we agree. I think what we're just saying is we need to make progress here, but we don't want to go too far. We think a bracket reset is too far, but let me follow up on that point, Zinni. I think what you're saying was winners bracket team earned it. That's not the point. We're not necessarily contesting that point. I was just making a point on what is the most exciting product. So competitive is a different thing, and I do want to address that because I think that is really competitive integrity is very important, obviously, and all the things. I'm just saying what is exciting, right? Let's dive into the competitive side. We're like, how does this feel right as a product? And we looked back at what are the stats around this competition, right? And is that healthy for the product? Because ultimately, this is a business. We need to grow the audience, which I think we've been successful. And we can dive into the numbers, but we have been successful in doing that.
Are you referencing like win percentage through winners versus losers?
That's what I'm referencing in terms of, looking at percentages. But in terms of being successful, I think we've been successful at growing the viewership and attracting a broader viewership base.
So yeah, very interesting thoughts as far as his reasoning behind a bracket reset. He said something about the the viewership for the numbers, and then Octane goes in to say about the ratio between losers winning and then winners winning. And then it seems like he was just more focused on the numbers, which could be skewed as far as what could, if it's OpTic in the grand finals versus LAG in the past. I mean, definitely some factors to be considered as well. I don't really like this answer here because he didn't give us a really good definitive answer of the reasons why. And then obviously to go into like the more of the numbers on the ratio for losers, people in losers coming in and winning versus the people number of times winner come in and win. It could look a little bit different because obviously, if you go back to when the OpTic Dynasty was as absolutely winning everything, I mean, they were the best team in the game. So whether it was a loser's bracket run or a winner's bracket run, they were still going to win no matter what. And then kind of getting into maybe like Cold War where FaZe was winning everything there, and then Surge last year always being consistent in second, no matter where they were at. Definitely something to be considered there for sure. I don't know if that one really kind of weighs in a little bit for the reasons why they're not doing a bracket reset there. I know more of the pros and just the fans and the viewership, everyone wants like a different bracket reset. So, what are your guys' thoughts on this side of the house?
I mean, personally, I don't mind it the way it is. I can kind of see both sides, but then again, it's like the way he's talking, it's like a lot of nothing at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I can almost tell like he would have to ask somebody else.
Thesaurus Rex over there.
Yeah. Like he'd have to ask somebody fucking else or have a few meetings to get those answers. But I mean, what do y'all prefer? What do you think? Jackalese.
I mean, to me, it's like such like a non-discussion. Like, Oh fuck, I'm gonna rant. So like, here's the thing. Like in the fucking glory days of COD, it was a double elimination tournament. We still have double elimination style tournament, except not every team gets eliminated twice. And that's like a fundamental issue because and this isn't just an OpTic thing, this is a it just happened to OpTic thing. OpTic lost in the tournament once and FaZe lost in the tournament once. There should be another, if every other team has to lose twice to be eliminated, why is it that OpTic didn't? So, first of all, that's like a fundamental problem with the system the way that it's set up. The veto advantage is absolutely fucking stupid. Like, I'm sorry, it is so dumb. Because, first of all, I do agree with the take that if you're in the finals, you probably have a very strong map pool. I think that's an extremely fair way of saying it, of having that. And with that being said, if you think that way, then vetoes aren't an advantage if you come from winners then. Additionally, if you come from winners and you have to sit on your ass for like an hour and a half, while FaZe gets hot, I'm using again the previous example. You're probably at a map disadvantage for the first map of the finals because the other team's hot. So OpTic, for example, got to pick map 1. They lost it. I do think it was a bad pick by them, like just point blank. But like, they came in cold as fuck. The other team came in warm. They beat OpTic on their map pick, and then FaZe got 2, 3, 4. Like FaZe got to pick maps 2, 3, 4. It was their like. So hypothetically,
that's faded.
If FaZe got to win the first map where they were hot, and then they won all their 3 map picks, they 4-0 win. Like, where's the advantage for OpTic or the team in winners? So like, that to me just shows why this format is fucked. Point blank. Period. Going to like alternatives, Daniel Say talks about like the excitement factor and like they want it to be like as 50-50 as possible, yada yada yada. Like, to be frank with you, like it shouldn't be 50-50. Like, to be honest, none of us really give a fuck about winners finals anymore because like, for example, had OpTic like lost winners finals to FaZe, they probably go and win that series and then they end up back against FaZe again. Like, winners finals doesn't really like mean shit. Whereas like, whenever you have like an actual double elimination where there's like a bracket reset in the finals, dude, you want to win winners finals. And that makes winners finals way more of a banger because it means 10 times more. Like, the most viewed parts of like bracket play are always like winners final, grand final, losers final. And like, that probably still is the case, but dude, winners final is a fucking banger because there's so much more on the line. Like, so much more on the line. You're like, dude, they have to now beat us twice if they want to come back here. And so like, that's the whole advantage. That is the whole advantage. And it makes not only grand finals a big deal, it makes winners finals a big deal, which it really isn't right now. If OpTic lost, they're like, fuck it, we're just gonna come back and be 50-50 again. Okay, where's the tension there? So there's my thing on like why I'd advocate for the double limb. I'm sorry, boys, I'm passionate.
Let's go.
But there's that, and then not only that, but then they talk about the math, because I understand that like he has to like bring numbers to like back up why things are the way they are, and that's why he goes to his bosses, and I completely understand that. But the problem is that he came in before that time, or I'm sorry, after that time, so he doesn't understand like the context behind the numbers. He's just looking at them blankly, and it's fucking dumb because the thing is that they took the number of the double limb in the CWL era, which is literally fucking Black Ops 3 to World War II. And if you think about Black Ops 3, then IW, then World War II, what team was like fucking goated for literally all of Black Ops 3 and like, we'll say like half of IW? It was fucking OpTic. It was literally a dynasty. Not only that, you weren't in franchising, so there weren't as many good teams. Like, there were a lot of like solid teams, and like sure, like anybody could win hypothetically, but like there wasn't like salary caps, and there wasn't like the teams were like flipping all the time. So like the continuity of OpTic was like a very big advantage during Black Ops 3. And so like if they got to the finals, like yeah, they're gonna fucking win. Like they're that good. Like I think the numbers are skewed.
Sure.
The numbers are skewed as fuck. And I think if you were in like an actual like CDL league, I think the double bracket, like the double the bracket reset in the grand finals wouldn't bear 85%. I don't think it would. I think it would probably bear like 70. But like I think the potential of it resetting would be less. And also, like, it happened 4 times. And to be honest, like, I think fans, like, we're all like kind of begging for like a bracket reset. Like, whenever like the losers team wins and it's like anybody's fucking game, like that's like the like most hype thing ever. You're like, oh, holy shit, they might do it. It's like a David versus Goliath. Like, there's no David versus Goliath. If anything, fucking David is the fucking winners bracket team right now. It's fucking retarded. So like, I just think that like the bracket reset would be so sick. Like OpTic in IW, like made stage 3 playoffs. Like whenever they fucking beat Envy back to back, like and they made a fucking like they were losers bracket 1. They made the huge losers bracket run, and then they won fucking 2 best of 5s, and then they go to champs, and then they go to losers, and then they win 2 best of 5s. Like that's like part of like why those tournaments are so memorable, because you're like, holy shit, they fucking did it. Like now, if the losers bracket team wins like phase, it's like, you'll yeah, okay, like they won, whatever, it was 50-50. Like it's not as hype. So long-winded way of me advocating for that. But he also did bring up some like interesting like alternatives, like the best of 9 1 map advantage. I think is fair. I do understand how it looks on its face, like giving a team a map for not doing anything is what he said. But the reality is that you won winners finals. Like that's the fucking advantage. That's why are we winning winners finals? Let's just fucking lose winners. Like he keeps saying like don't earn it or whatever, but like you did earn it. You won winners finals. Another thing that he mentioned was double veto advantage, where you could not only ban first, like the winners team does, but also you get to pick first. So you could like, for example, like ban the other team's like best map and then also like pick your best map. I do think that that's like the most like middle ground. Like I wish that they would implement that like ASAP for like Major 3, and then we could like see how that works and if it's actually like an advantage, and then go from there. I know these things take like longer to like implement, but like I did think that that was like a better alternative than like what we have now, but I don't think it's proper or as fair as a reset.
Yeah.
But I do think it's better. Like, and also like the 2-3-4 things like fucking annoying. Like make it like 1-3-5-7 2-4-6 whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works with like S&D and like I don't know if like one team gets all the S&D. Like maybe that's unfair, but like to me, like 1-5-6-7 versus 2-3-4, like if you come out hot, like the team that has 2-3-4 gets all like the upfront. Like I don't know. I just long way of saying like there needs to be change, and I think Daniel say like agreed that this isn't perfect, but he's also like, but like what's better? And it's like, but we just told you like 4 different ways that's better, and he's like, well, I don't know, and it's like, come on, man. Like there's just like a couple things like this, and like we're probably gonna get to like teams that are bottom feeders. Like you make some of these changes, and this team, this league, honestly, like instantly becomes like super competitive, like just super fun to watch. Like we'll probably get to it later. Maybe I've been going on for like 10 minutes, but like the minor was like cool. Like the minor was like way more entertaining than like online league matches.
Way
Except for
better.
the fact that Friday was kind of useless because you knew who was going to win because there's a bunch of bottom feeders.
Yeah.
Like if you actually had like 12 teams in the league that actually like, you know, paid their play, whatever, like, and you actually had like these tournaments and like this like league, like you fix the grand finals format to make it like way more entertaining and like LAN is king, but there's also like tournaments all the time. Like, dude, this league would grow naturally. I think there would be excitement.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, definitely having like online tournaments definitely kept my attention versus like just some BS regular qualifier matches for sure. And then trying to maybe even see like this moving forward here, maybe making like something to kind of help qualifying for the majors, maybe having like, you know, a couple whatever the point system might look like for a minor to then use those as qualifiers moving into a major would help maybe keep it more entertaining there than just doing regular league matches. And then on top of that, maybe getting rid of league matches all in all, or maybe just keeping some. I don't know what that could look like there, but I mean, yeah, I definitely agree, man. These online tournaments definitely are more entertaining, to say the least. There.
I kind of went off on a fucking off ramp there, but like, what did you guys think of my fucking grand finals?
Yeah, I mean,
Did
honestly,
anybody
dude,
agree? Did you guys disagree? I don't know if I just fucking ranted for 20 minutes and it was faded.
no. I mean, I agree that the map vetoes are a little ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. Like, how the fuck are you gonna get 2, 3, and 4, and then have that possible 4-0 advantage there? I definitely think having like 2-1-2-1 split there, or maybe like 2-1-2-2, however you want to break it down, so that not every team gets search and destroy only. But I mean, definitely having like an advantage for the first 2, maybe 3 maps going to the winners. And then obviously losers taking the rest of the map pool there, maybe even doing it in one individually. Like you were saying, like odd numbers, even numbers, things like that. But again, then you gotta run into the problem of like it's only you get some
Yeah,
teams
you
get
get all the
searches.
hard points, we get all the yeah, like I get that. I do think that that's totally fair.
Now, as far as like the best of 9 map 1 advantage, I understand that works, but I don't know if I like it like that, because on like you said, like face value, it does look a little ridiculous, and then obviously coming out of winners, you get that map 1, so then we go straight into a search and destroy. Um, I don't know how that would work, honestly. I honestly think just the bracket reset would be awesome, just because one, winners, like you said, means a lot more, because then you get that extra life advantage, and then two, it's a chance for the losers to come out and put belt to ass in 2 different best of 5s. And that definitely solidifies, like, hey, this is the reason why we are the best for this tournament, is because we beat the number 1 team twice. So I mean, like, back to back. So I mean, I like that. I know they probably think differently.
I do think, like, this was kind of brought up, and I don't know if it's like disrespectful to say this, but I do think there's some merit. Like, do you think that the best team in the game during Black Ops, let's just go back to like Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7. Do you think that the team that has won the tournament, every single tournament, is the best team in the game at that time? Because I can't say that.
No.
Because
no.
For all you know, like, for example, Vancouver might have been the best team in the game for literally half the year, and they came out flat in the grand final. And I know that it's kind of, maybe Vancouver's a bad example because I don't think they ever came from winners. But, like, if OpTic has like a bad series, like, they get fucking dog walked the first best of 5. At least they have that second life that they've like, that every other team has been afforded. And then you say, well, dude, you just beat them in 2 best of 5s. You have to be better than them. You have just shown us back to back twice. I don't care if they had 1 bad series, they had 2. Like, we are better. We just showed that. Like, that was OpTic versus Envy. It's like, yeah, dude, Envy was in the grand finals of like fucking 3 tournaments that year in IW. Guess what, dude? OpTic fucking best of 5 them twice in 2 separate tournaments. Like, there is no doubting that at that time, those like 2 months, OpTic was the best team in the game. Like, this past major too, it's like, dude, OpTic just fucking sleptwalked through fucking winners finals, that whole tournament, and then it's like, dude, FaZe is the best team in the game now. Like, we're just gonna say that, and like, that isn't to take away from FaZe, because FaZe is very good. They're certainly a top 3 team, if not number 1 right now. But I'm just saying, like, after that tournament, I'm like, is FaZe the best team? Like, I'm not convinced.
No.
Like, I feel like the winner of the tournament should be the best team in the game, and you should know that they're the best team in the game because they A, went through winners and won the tournament, or B, you came through losers and you fell for a second, but you like proved that you are the best.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I mean, I honestly think that the bracket reset's probably the best bet. Having 2 best of 5s at the end to kind of solidify and to iron out any doubts as far as like who the best team at the time is. So I don't understand why. And then I guess for like a second plan B option would be to have the best of 7 and then just kind of switch up the map vetoes to be more an advantage for the winners coming in. Now, what exactly that looks like, I'm having a hard time kind of seeing it off the top of my head right now. But I bet if I put my brain together and maybe write out some scenarios of what that could look like, we would kind of maybe find a good middle ground there if they don't want to do a bracket reset. But I mean, I definitely think bracket reset, now that I kind of see it whole and kind of hearing what you were saying, definitely makes the most sense in my opinion, just because one, it showcases who the best team is, and two, kind of gives you that excitement factor and makes winners that much more important as well. But yeah, man, definitely interesting thoughts here. We'll see if anything changes moving forward here. But we'll move on to the second topic of discussion here, where he talks about warm-ups for OpTic Texas. So let's go into a live listen.
Wait, before we move on to that, what are you guys' thoughts on, like, Pat talked about this, and I don't remember what tournaments was done. What about the continuation? What do you guys think about continuation series?
What does that look like?
So I could be butchering this, but if I remember correctly, you basically, I want to say it's either a best of 7 or a best of 9, but it is a continuation of winners finals. Or when you, well, I think it only works if you've previously played against that team, I believe, but I could be wrong. So basically, like, I think did OpTic beat FaZe 3-0 or 3-1 like last tournament? I think it was 3-1.
I thought it was 3-0.
Okay, 3-0. So basically, then it becomes a best of 9, and you continue the series. So OpTic is up 3-0 in the series, best of 9. But if like OpTic won like a grueler like 3-2, they go into the next series best of 9 like up 3-2. And you just extend the series continues. I think that's like a semi-solid idea, but like, what if, like, let's just say hypothetically, Miami gets fucking first rounded by fucking FaZe, let's just say, in like the 12-team tournament or whatever, or 8-team, whatever, winners bracket. They go to like losers. OpTic never plays against Miami the whole fucking tournament, and they run into each other, and like, does it just become a just straight up like best of 9? I'd assume so.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I don't know the exact kinks, but I do think that, like, there's an advantage. We previously played against you. We previously beat you. We have whatever advantage because we earned that. Like, I do see that. I don't know if they'd ever do that, but whatever. I just thought it was something to throw out because the way that he explained it, like, it did kind of make sense. Like, you know, just continue the series, keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be an interesting. I feel like it would be kind of like a shorter series then, no? Because then you would just win one map and then be 4 or 2.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's probably not as entertaining.
Yeah, so I mean, I could see a world where like you could probably do something, maybe like extend the series to like a best of 11. Then at that case, but then what's the fucking point?
Yeah,
I don't know.
You might as well do 2 best of fucking 5s.
Yeah, 2 best of 5s is my opinion, but whatever. But anyhow, moving on to the warm-ups thing here for OpTic Texas in the back of Major 2. OpTic Texas being denied a warm-up against the scrims for Huntsman before Major 2 finals. Last-minute credentials. Access is difficult to arrange. Unfair change to make midday. Potential amendment for Major 3. And here's the full reasoning down here. So let's go into a live listening real quick here.
But as we looked into it, couple issues, which are all solvable. The request came in a little too late through no fault of anyone, right? You don't really know that you're in the winners finals until the day of. As you may remember from our days, your days competing, our PPAs are backstage. So there's credentials, there's security concerns with handing them out to players on the spot. Our PPAs are broken down almost immediately after teams are eliminated, especially on Sunday, because everyone needs to load out within a couple hours of the event time closing. And the third reason is it's not a fair opportunity for all the teams. Now, you can say the winners final team might need it the most, but if you think about an order, you can make an argument that even the team that's waiting for the losers final to happen also might want that same opportunity to get tuned up, right? Because it goes.
The way I view it, and I'm sure the way a lot of people view it, is that's they are investing in this scene. They're investing in having a team. That is the reason that they have a team, is this opportunities like this. So I feel like they should also be rewarded for that. So
yeah,
like going forward, is that point still going to stand?
No, there was nothing related to it's only they have an academy team, therefore it's not fair. That's not part of it at all. Our proposed change for Major 3 is actually going to be, if you can find a squad that'll warm you up on Sunday, we're going to try to facilitate that. It's not only if you have.
I was just just the way you phrased it. I didn't understand it. Have for everybody.
No. What we meant by that is there's 4 teams on Sunday.
Yeah.
If we introduce that rule midday, only OpTic can take advantage of that.
Okay. Yeah, so he goes on to say about this being a possible change moving forward for Major 3. So if you can find a squad that can warm you up, they'll be making that amendment going into Major 3. They just couldn't do it midday because it wouldn't be fair for, say, losers finals to get warmed up and then be denied for that, and then all of a sudden you see OpTic warming up. So you could possibly see the argument for the losers team to be at an unfair advantage. So moving forward for Major 3, he's confirmed that that's going to be something that they can arrange moving forward there. So definitely some big dubs there, and this won't be as big of a upset maybe moving forward here for Major 3. But then getting into the second or the last topic of discussion here. Daniel Say confirms that teams are allowed to warm up against Sunday. We've already facilitated that. Okay, so we've already covered that. I just got two things mixed up. All right, perfect. Well,
yeah,
cool.
I feel like that was like a super cool moment where he was just like, yeah, like we kind of fucked up there. I mean, it's like we kind of fucked up there. Like honestly, it just needs to be like better communicated. And like some of the points he was making were like kind of fair, but I'm like, I think as long as the teams that are still in the tournament Saturday night, maybe like before midnight, let's just say, like I'm just throwing it out there, before midnight, you got to text like maybe not Daniel Say, but like whoever is in charge and will be there tomorrow. Here's our set team. Here are the names of those players that we have to warm us up for the full day.
Yes.
And then just give them passes. I don't really understand how it became such a big thing in the first place. I also don't really understand how like they weren't able to get credentialed because it's like literally Huntsman. Like I do think it was kind of stupid that it happened. If they had said you guys have like a team that like is kind of like their purpose is to warm you up, and like a team like Cloud9 doesn't, I'd be like, that's kind of fair, but like fuck them, like they're like a tiny org. But I could see why that was like a hiccup, and they could be like, we'll change that. But like I don't know. I think the communication thing was just kind of gay. But cool that it's figured out.
Yeah, no, I agree.
At least they said so.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get that amendment moving forward here. But all right, well, getting into some other news here, getting into maybe some Xbox news. So Xbox and Call of Duty titles will no longer be on the Xbox Game Pass Day 1 as of April 21st there. So no longer on the Game Pass on the first day for Call of Duty being dropped there. So hopefully we'll get some anti-hackers coming out of that. And then as far as the new tier of Xbox Game Pass being leaked here, you get a Discord Nitro service, 10 hours of cloud gaming a month, and over 50 game titles available to you as well. So if you guys are on Xbox, that's going to be something to be looking forward to as well. And then Xbox CEO shares. Oh,
sorry, quick question. Do you know if they lowered the price of Game Pass?
I think they lowered it $10.
I was going to say, because at one point they were talking about how much Call of Duty was losing them on Game Pass because it was such like a AAA title, and like they were getting absolutely like railed by it. But part of me thought that they were gonna take Call of Duty off and keep the price and just fucking rug pull everybody. So like that would be cool if they actually like lowered the price. That would be a W actually by Xbox, because like if you just up the price by $10 and take off like one of like the biggest games and just fuck everybody, that would be classic Xbox. But
now I did see where the price moved, I think like $8 a month or something like that. So I'm not entirely too sure where I saw.
Sorry to throw you off. I was just curious.
No, you're good. That's a great question, and I did have that somewhere, but I can't seem to find it right off the rip here. But anyhow, but yeah, moving into other news for Xbox. Xbox CEO shares that Xbox will continue to be where the players are. We will reevaluate our approach to exclusivity, windowing, and AI, and share more as we learn and decide there. So they're doing a little bit of revamping here. So Xbox is dropping the Microsoft gaming name and rebranding back to Xbox internally. So we'll see what that resurgence looks like for Xbox moving forward here. Okay, and then moving into the last topic of discussion here, we've got some Arc Raider. Oh, I'm sorry. We've got the Call of Duty movie coming out in June 30th, 2028. So mark your calendars there. We got a couple more, maybe 2 more years and some change for the new Call of Duty movie to come out. But as far as like anything, as far as like lore or anything like that, I'm not sure what that looks like here. But I'm actually excited to hear about what universe they're gonna pick and maybe see.
Yeah, what do you guys want to see?
I want to see Black Ops.
I was gonna say, because like, do you want to see like the Black Ops series? You want to see like the Modern Warfare series? You want to see like a World War, like one of those like Infinite Warfare, like one of those spinoffs, or do you want to see like like, because I could totally see them making like a brand new story, brand new every fucking thing, and just giving it Call of Duty's like branding just to like get people to come see it. And that would be like super annoying because like if they made Black Ops 1 into like a movie, like, and not only just like Black Ops 1, but like expanded on it, like made it like super badass, like super cinematic, like, but the whole movie was just Black Ops 1's like plot line. Dude, I would fucking go see that in fucking IMAX. Like, that would be so sick.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think a little bit of World at War moving into the lore of Black Ops 1 being the main part of it, and then maybe teasing getting towards like Black Ops 2 to maybe make a sequel for Black Ops 2 and 3, or yeah, 2 and 3. But then I do see where they kind of default to Modern Warfare 1 and 2 and 3 and meshing it all into one, because it's like the most popular series, I think, is Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3. You just go by like mainstream, Modern Warfare 2 obviously being the most nostalgic Call of Duty in the past there, but I think as far as like campaign and like actual like interesting like twists and turns and like
Plotline,
yeah,
yeah,
like
for
Black
sure.
Ops would be the fire one to go after for sure.
Psychology, chemical.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got like Reznov being a fucking ghost in this dude's mind, and he's fucking like MK Ultra bullshit and all this like super like secret Black Ops obviously lore behind it too, and you got like Mason trying to figure out like what the numbers mean, and then kind of going through and recollecting all his memories and going back to back while in that room and being interrogated and whatnot by the CIA guy Hudson, and then kind of from there moving into like the final scene, and then getting some Black Ops 2 campaign lore to kind of move into the actual campaign for Black Ops 1, like kind of meshing it all into one. But I mean, I see where that could be kind of messy, and then obviously them defaulting to Modern Warfare being more of an easier way of making a movie. But I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think part of me thinks that they're gonna actually just do a brand, like literally like a military movie that has Call of Duty's name, and maybe it could have like a soap and Shepherd, like just on like their own, like completely separate from the movies, or they just go totally brand new. Like I could totally see them fucking butchering that and just pissing everybody off. Um, I can see how like a Black Ops 2 / like Black Ops 3 would be like really like brutal for them to make into like a movie, like kind of hard.
Yeah.
I think it's like better as like a game. But like Black Ops 1 is so fucking cinematic, and like the plot line and like American history like intertwined slightly. I think it'll be perfect, but also like I'm sure they want to make it into like a franchise where they make like fucking Call of Duty 10, fucking got The Rock probably in it or some shit. Like I could see them doing that, and like I feel like they're better off going with like their own storyline, because then you're not dependent on like the game creators creating like your scripts, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, who knows? Might make a Ghost movie and then maybe have that Ghost 2, that we'll never get, with Rourke at the end taking that dude's brother into the water, and then boom, yeah, another movie to move off her. But yeah, man, definitely. Nonetheless, ready to see it.
Black Ops 1.
Let's see what they got. Let's see what they got, man. They got nothing. They got nothing.
Yeah.
They just made it Twitter. That's it.
Of course.
Interesting. Well, all right. Well, getting off that topic here and then getting into the last topic of discussion here, we got Arc Raiders moving on with a new map coming out, Riven Tides, with a new Arc Turbine enemy. We got Beachcombing. I don't even know. I can't read right now. As a new map condition there, we got new items as a Crash Mat and Powered Descender. Last Resort is a new event. And then some new projects and cosmetics for the actual game here. So I know Arc Raiders have been a little bit dead here recently with just the lack of updates and new things to be excited about. And obviously Burnt Peanut moving away from it definitely doesn't help as well. But if this can kind of resurge back to its glory days about a couple months ago, then I might be interested to kind of check it out here at the new map. But just want to kind of get your guys' thoughts on this before we round things out.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed Arc. I thought Arc was like a shit ton of fun. I thought over Christmas, like January, February, especially like before like ranked play came out, which we can get into ranked being absolutely dog shit, or maybe we'll just end it because it's not even worth talking about. But but no, I don't know. Like Arc was great. I didn't really get necessarily bored of it, but like there's only so much you can do, and the maps are great, and there are like a lot of maps. Like whenever you think about like the actual like quality of the maps they gave us, the amount off like launch, and like obviously like the addition of like Salamantis, like I think they did a good thing, but they gave us so much up front that we were like left like wanting more and more consistently. I know streamers had like cheater problems. I don't. Stream sniping problems. I don't. Um, it was really just like the like lack of like new weapons and like the lack of like story slash like things to do. Like I didn't really like want to play the game solo unless like I was like really like grinding for like a specific thing. I didn't, and playing with boys was like fun, but like it was kind of like this like monotonous like loop.
Yeah.
So I haven't played since they added the 2 new guns, or like I have like very like I played like 3 raids. So I'm excited to see like the 2 new guns. I'm excited to see the new map. Last update, which I really haven't played, but they did add like new arc, and the new arc to me seemed like OP. Like
Yeah.
I think that they were trying to cater like way more towards like the PvE players than like the PvP, which is like not that they don't exist. Like I just think that they need to create like a map that is like more PvP oriented. Like Salamantis is, don't get me wrong, but like where like maybe there's like way more teams and like way less arc, and then the other maps will be like way more like PvE oriented. I think that was like another thing that was like really annoying me, is like I started like in like the new update feeling like it was like more of like a PvE game when like I really only get dope from PvP. So
No,
yeah, I mean, I at this point like ranked is kind of fucked. Like all my friends are Crim. I'm Crim. We all make alts. All of our alts are gonna hit Crim, and so like unless like we want a duo and like play with like shitty teammates, like we can't really like play the game that we enjoy. And like we actually have like a good group of guys that we play with, so it's kind of annoying whenever there's like 5 to like 10 of us in the Discord, and we have to like split off into pairs. Because all of our skills are like generally like around like let's just say like Diamond 2 to like Crim 2, with like an outlier or two like an Eerie, and like an outlier or two like in whatever like Plat. Like I just think it's dumb. I don't know. I know this is an arc discussion, but like that's the only reason why I would probably play arc, was because I'm so fucking sick and tired of COD ranked. So
yeah. No, I mean, honestly, to kind of get you know, some insight there on the rank there. If they move the duo queue to gatekeep inside of Erie and up, that'd be way better, because obviously then you're at maximum SR, and then from there you can kind of keep your Erie or drop back down into Crim and 4 stack. So, I mean, yeah, they need to bring back 4 stacks and at least Crim lobbies there, because it makes the game more fun, and I honestly want to get up and play with the 4 stack of boys, and then not have to duo queue, and hopefully I don't get shit or diamond teammates, or you know, two just faded Grim players that are solo queuing, not really in it to win it type deal. I want to, if the game is a if it's a 4v4, I want it to be a 4v4, not a 2v2 versus 4 stack. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like that's just not fun. You know what I'm saying? And like I get it, like
dude,
people.
especially whenever you're in Crim and you're like duo queuing with your boy, and then you get 2 diamonds on your team that are duo queued, and then you're going up against like a 4 stack of diamond like threes, and it's like okay, like the skill gap isn't that much. They literally all are like calming, and our teammates don't know like where we're spawning. Like it's just annoying. I think they should at least do like Crim and below. You can 4 stack like Crim and above. You can only 2 stack, but or you can 4 stack. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
don't know if you know like Valorant and like CS, like you can't 4 stack in Valorant because it's unfair to like the one solo that has to play or whatever. Like they should do that for like COD ranked, where it's like Crims can only duo queue unless you're in a 4 stack, and then you can only go up against 4 stacks. Like we will only search for 4 stacks.
Yeah.
I would be cool with that. I don't give a fuck if I'm playing against a bunch of fucking Crims. Like at least I'm like with my boys. Like I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. And I just wish they would just kind of revert back to just like everyone just being fucking it's a free for all at this point. Because last year, I mean, I don't know. I mean, dude, we get it. Some of the top tier caliber streamers were probably running into the same people over and over again. But you know what I'm saying? Like you're 4 stacks, you're gonna get 4 stacks. It's gonna be like at that point, it's like challengers. You know, like you get a team of people that just don't hop off rank play that play consistently together forever. And like that's part of the Call of Duty experience. It's part of competitive is you're gonna run into 4 stacks that just play all the fucking time. And so I don't understand why that's such a big issue. Like that's literally the reason why it's a 4v4. That's what it's built for. So I don't get it. I really don't get it there, but whatever. But yeah, man, that's all I had to discuss here for today's episode. Definitely a longer one, but definitely some crazy topics of discussion. We got obviously some roster changes, the minor one victory going to LA Thieves. We got Daniel to say, giving his thoughts on some PR things, and then obviously some Xbox and Arc Raiders and everything else in between there, news there. But any closing thoughts before we close things out?
Good to be back with the boys. I mean, the tournament was fun. Back to the qualifiers, but yeah, we'll keep it going. It was a good little weekend overall.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
All right, well that's gonna be
the
it.
boys for having me on.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you, Big Jack, man. It's always good to have you on. Mr. Monty, always good to have you on, man. We couldn't do it without you. Everything that you do on and off the screen, man, you're an absolute goat and legend.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, absolutely, man. That's gonna be it for this episode here. Episode 96 under wraps here, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of the BCP. Peace.